Sometimes we have a really tight curve that we've got to stitch around. Once again, it can either be a concave curve, an out curve, or it can be a convex curve, which is an in curve. And they're really tight, and it's really a lot harder to steer around one of those. So I'll just give you some tips on that. So what we'll do is we'll start off at the top again, just in from the top this time, line it up 1 centimetre, forward 3 or 4, back, sew towards the first pin, take the pin out, sew towards the next pin. This bit's easy, it's fairly straight. Okay, keep going. We're starting to get a little bit of a curve here, so you've got to steer carefully. And in just a minute, or a few seconds, we're actually going to hit a really sharp curve here, and it's going to be a bit harder. So what we need to do is stop and start the sewing machine. So I'm going to sew as closely as I can, because sometimes you just can't turn it fast enough. I'm going to sew as far as I can with still being on this line. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my needle in the fabric, I'm going to lift my presser foot, and I'm just going to swivel, turn the fabric a little bit, and that helps me go around. So a little bit more, needle in the fabric, lift your presser foot, turn your fabric around a little bit, and keep going. Stop with your needle in the fabric, lift your presser foot, turn your fabric carefully, and keep sewing. What you want is a nice curved seam, not a point. If you don't have a point in at the end of your pieces of fabric, what you want is a nice gentle curve. So you have to be able to stop and start if you think you can't stay on track. And the important thing to remember there is that you always put your needle into the fabric, lift your presser foot, and swivel gently to be able to do that. Okay, I'll pull this out to the side so you can see it. And there I've managed to sew around a nice sharp curve. It's a fairly sharp curve. And I had to stop, leave my needle in the fabric, lift the presser foot, swivel my fabric a little bit, put the presser foot down and sew a little bit more, especially around this area here, because it's just too tight to be able to turn it simply with your hands, and you'd end up sewing off here, which isn't what you want.